This is the village of San Sebastian de Garabandal, situated in the Cantabrian Mountains in the province of Santander in the north of Spain. As you can see, the houses are very poor. Do you remember anything about priests during the apparition? Do you remember anything specific that occurred?
I remember that during that time, many priests used to come, and many were in civilian dress. I don't know how, but we always knew who were the priests, even if there were a lot of people. One night in particular, while seeing the Virgin, there were a lot of people. The Virgin told us to hold out our arms, so we did. When it was over, we found out that everyone to whom that we had given the crucifix to kiss was a priest in civilian clothes.
Do
you remember the story you told me about a priest who came in civilian clothes to see if he could trick you?
Yes, he came with a girl and said that it was his girlfriend. He said to tell the Virgin something about it.
About the girl the priest said was his girlfriend?
He said to tell the Virgin something about him and his girlfriend. So we told it to her, and we found out that he was a priest. I don't remember if she told us he was a priest or if we found it out by ourselves.
I also remember there was something else about a priest, a cousin of yours. Do you remember that incident?
Yes, it was about a cousin of mine. He was 6 years old. He was sick. The Virgin brought me to the house where the child was. We had always been accustomed to give the crucifix to kiss. The crucifix was put at the feet of the child. His mother asked the priest why they put the crucifix at his feet rather than his lips. The priest told him that it was a sign that he was going to be a priest.
Is he a priest now?
Now he is studying to be a priest.
We have more pictures here. These pictures show a woman receiving communion. I think she is a Jewish woman. Do you remember the story of this woman? What was her name?
Catherine.
Do you remember the story?
Yes. She came to our village while she was a young woman. She came because a friend brought her. She came just out of curiosity. One day, Jacinta was in ecstasy. A priest had told her, when you see the Virgin, throw holy water at her, because if it is the devil, it will leave. So Jacinta, knowing that it wasn't the devil, but in order to obey the priest, threw a glass of holy water at the Virgin, and it all fell on the woman. From that moment on, she wanted to convert to Catholicism, even after her parents, who were rich and had a lot of money, offered her everything so that she wouldn't be converted. But she had received a lot of faith that day and was converted.
Did she receive baptism later and First Communion?
Yes, all the sacraments.
We have many pictures. Here's a nice photograph. There is a priest, and the person on the left is Catherine, isn't that right?
Yes, Catherine.
The Jewish lady. The priest is Father Ramon Andrew. The man to the right of the priest, who is he?
That man is a Protestant, or was a German Protestant. His name is Maximo Feuchler. He came to the village out of curiosity. One night he saw an ecstasy, and he was converted to Catholicism.
Is he a Catholic now?
Yes, he is a Catholic, a good practicing Catholic.
Very well. Let's see if we have any more pictures. Here we have the four girls, Conchita, Mari Loli, and we can't see Jacinta's face or Mari Cruz. You're at the church door. Why were you at the church door?
At the beginning, we used to go into the church. But then the people, because they wanted to be first when we extended our arms, would make a big disturbance. So the bishop said we couldn't go into the church anymore. Then the Virgin, from the time that the bishop said not to go into the church, never would let us in there again.
You mean the Virgin used to bring you up to the door of the church?
Yes.
Then in a certain way, she was saying to obey the bishop.
Yes, I think that was an example of obedience to the bishop, and to each person we have to obey.
In the same way, the Virgin was also obeying what the bishop commanded.
Yes, she never went in either.
When the bishop said to stop in front of the church, she would stop there?
Yes, she never said anything. She just never went in.
This photo was taken during the day, but I understand that the apparitions occurred at every hour of the day and night. At what time did she appear? When the people were there?
No, sometimes when we were alone, other times during the day and at night.
At what time at night?
At 11, at 12, at 5 o'clock. There was no definite time.
How did you know when she was going to appear at night?
She would tell us before by 3 calls.
Yes?
But I cannot explain the calls, so please don't ask me. It's a thing that I never understood. That is all I can say.
The call, was it something you felt inside?
I have never been able to explain it. It was like an immense joy that brings you to a place, not knowing where you are going, just that you have to go there.
Was there a time when the Virgin came after these calls at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, at 3 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. There was no definite time.
Who was there to see you?
Sometimes no one. Other times, my mother or many people.
Say, at 5 o'clock in the morning, was there anybody there?
Yes, at times many people.
During all these apparitions, all these spectacular things, I also know there were messages. I remember there was one in 1961. That was the first message. Do you remember the first message that the Virgin gave? What was it about? What did the Virgin say?
Yes, the words of the Virgin are, we have to make many sacrifices, many penances. We have to visit the Blessed Sacrament often. Above all, we must be very good. The cup is already filling up. If we don't change, a great punishment will come upon us. I understand it like this, though not because the Virgin said it. With respect to penance and sacrifice, penance is what we impose on ourselves. Sacrifice is giving up things as the situation suggests. For example, the person that scolds us, not to answer them back, or if we receive a blow, to offer it to God. For me, this is self-imposed penance and sacrifice.
So the message talks about sacrifice, penance, visits to the Blessed Sacrament, and above all being good. With respect to sacrifice and penance, I remember an instance that happened to you about a piece of gum. Do you remember?
Yes, one day on the last apparition on November 13th, 1965, I had a piece of gum in my mouth. The moment I saw the Virgin, I put it in my cheek and didn't chew it anymore. But she said, "Why don't you dispose of that gum? Offer it up for me." I thought she hadn't seen it, but she knew I had it, so I took the gum out of my mouth. For me, this was an example that she is not asking for big sacrifices, but small ones, so that we can continually offer them out of love for her.
So little sacrifices are good because they're made in the presence of God. Because gum is not bad, right?
Not at all, but giving it up is an act of love to God.
She also talked about penance, sacrifice, and that we have to be good. Above all, we must be good. What did the Virgin mean when she said, above all, to be good?
I don't know what the Virgin meant. I understand it to be life lived, moment by moment, offering everything to God, living like a Christian the way our conscience tells us. That's what I think she meant.
So everyone can be good.
Sure. Everyone in their religion, in their environment, in their family, their job, they themselves know how to be good, because I believe everyone has his own conscience, and God speaks to each one through his conscience. Everyone knows what is good and what is bad.
Each man and woman knows what's good or bad, no matter if he's here or in a little village like Garabandal.
I am sure each person knows when he does something good or something bad.
There are photographs about communion. Here you are, Conchita, but we cannot see the host. I believe the angel gave you communion many times. Do you remember how many times he brought you communion?
The Virgin taught us with regard to communion the value and the importance of the Eucharist. After the apparition started, we never missed a day of communion. When there wasn't a priest in the village, the angel would come down to give us communion. I don't know how he knew there wasn't a priest in the village.
Who was he, the angel?
Yes, the angel, and he came down to give us communion.
Concerning communion, only priests can consecrate. Did you ever ask the Virgin where he obtained the host?
Yes, we asked because a priest sent us to ask. She said that the angel would come down and would take a host already consecrated from a tabernacle.
With respect to communion, the angel came hundreds of times. Is that not right?
No, not many times. Generally, there was a priest in the village. He would only give us communion when there was no priest.
How many times more or less?
Maybe 4.
One of those times, as we see on the screen, the little miracle, as you called it, happened when the host appeared on your tongue. Do you remember anything about the day of the little miracle?
Yes. Do you know why I called it the little miracle? Because when the Virgin said, "I am going to perform a miracle that everyone will see the sacred form on your tongue," I thought everyone could see it every time I went to communion. So I said, "That is not a miracle." She said that nobody could see it, only on this day. So I called it the little miracle. The angel on that day came down and brought me the host, just as on other days, but on that day everyone saw it.
Do you remember anyone who was there and saw it?
Many people.
Any priest who saw it or any person that you could recognize?
Many priests, especially one who was a Franciscan. I cannot remember his name. He did not believe it, or did not believe that it was the real sacred form. He thought it was an illusion or some other thing. I cannot remember what now. He wanted to take the form to see if it was real or fake, but he was afraid, so he left. Several days later, he came back repentant about his thoughts and asked for pardon. There was a great change in him after that. Also, they used to take pictures in movies, as you can see. There was a doctor who was not a Catholic and had led a bad life, and another man who was very good. The doctor wanted to take pictures. He had a good camera with lights and all that stuff. However, at the moment the light bulbs blew and the camera didn't work. The other, however, without bulbs and a very simple camera, took pictures. After that, the doctor was converted, and the other person had great happiness.
Now from the little miracle, let's go up to the great miracle, the one that personally impresses me the most. Here we have a picture, more or less, to get an idea, because we don't know what it's going to be all about. But I would like you to tell me everything you can about the day of the great miracle that is coming. Conchita, that day did not come yet, did it?
No, not yet.
What's going to happen on that day?
Well, I will tell you all that I can, as the Virgin told it to me. The Virgin told me that God was going to perform a great miracle. There would be no doubt about this miracle. It would be a miracle coming directly from God. There will be no human intervention. The day would come. She told me the day, the month, and the year, so I know the exact date.
So you know the day, the month, and the year in which it will occur?
Yes.
And that day, month, and year have not yet come?
No, not yet.
This happened 12 years ago and it hasn't arrived yet?
No, not yet.
When is that day?
It is coming soon.
Is it coming soon?
I cannot tell until 8 days before the date.
What is going to happen on that day?
I can't say exactly what it consists of, but I can say that the Virgin said that everyone who would go there on that day would see it. The sick will be cured, no matter what their disease or religion. However, they have to be there.
So there will be no exception, whether the person has cancer, is paralyzed, blind, or deaf?
No, there will be no exceptions.
The sick?
The sick will be cured. Unbelievers will believe.
Those who do not believe will believe? If the sick person is Protestant, Jewish, or Muslim, or communist?
She didn't give any conditions or make any exceptions. She only said the sick who were present will be cured.
Who will be able to see this miracle? Only the Catholics who are present?
Everyone who is present.
Everyone, no matter what their religion?
Yes.
Whatever nationality?
All the same.
Did she ever make an exception? Were her words ever directed towards
To the
anyone?
whole world.
To the whole world?
Yes.
On the day of the miracle, did you say that those present would be converted?
The Virgin said that everyone present would believe. They would see that this was directly from God. Sinners will be converted. She also said that from that moment on, there would be a permanent sign at the Pines that could be photographed or televised. Everyone present there could view it. The sign will remain forever at the Pines. The sign would be visible and could be touched but not felt. I can't explain it.
This is astounding because even after Christ's time, if you go to Jerusalem, there is no visible sign there. There is nothing you can photograph. However, on the day of the miracle, there will be an extraordinary sign not made by human hands.
The sign will remain until the end of time.
Until the end of time?
Yes.
Everyone will be able to photograph it and televise it, but you won't be able to feel it by touching
It will be like smoke. You can touch it, but not feel it.
With respect to the sick people, since this is what really interests me, I think the Virgin named one particular person by name, a blind man called Joey Lomangino. What did she say about him?
She said that on the day of the miracle, he will recover his sight. He will be able to see. She also talked about a paralyzed boy whose parents came from my village. The boy also will be cured. These are the only two people she mentioned.
Yo conozco al señor Joey Lomangino y le tengo mucho cariño porque yo entré en esto de Garabandal precisamente porque
I know Joey Lomangino personally, and I have a great liking for him. In fact, I got involved in Garabandal because I heard about him and that he lived here in Lindenhurst, Long Island. So when I read the book and the part about him in it, I felt that if this was going to occur in my lifetime, I'd like to see it. How did he lose his sight?
A wheel from a truck flew off and hit him on the head. As a result, he lost his sight.
How long ago did this happen?
When he was 18 years old. Now he is past 40.
Then on the day of the miracle, Joe Lomangino will recover his sight. That struck me when I read the book. So I drove over to see Joe, and that's how I became interested in Garabandal.
Entonces, en el Día del Milagro hay algo también acerca del Padre Andreu,
This is a picture of Father Andreu. Can you tell us something about him?
Yes, this priest used to come frequently to the town to see if the apparitions were real or not. After a while, he believed in them. One day, while we were in ecstasy at the Pines, he began to shout, "Miracle! Miracle! Miracle!" The Virgin said, "At this moment, the priest is seeing me and the miracle that will recur."
Father Andreu was actually seeing the miracle?
Yes.
Here is a picture of Father Andreu.
That same day, on his trip back, he said to his friends, "This is the happiest day of my life. What a good mother we have in heaven. The apparitions are true." While he was saying these words, he died.
So that's what he said when he died.
Yes.
This picture shows the burial of Father Andreu. Didn't the Virgin say that something would occur on the day of the miracle concerning Father Andreu?
Yes, she said that on the day of the miracle he would be incorrupt. He is that now, but on that day they will open his grave and his body will be preserved intact. Now his brothers, who have worked very hard for Garabandal, got impatient and wanted to open up his grave. They even sent many invitations for the opening. However, on the day that they were going to open his grave, their superior said not to.
You mean the Jesuit superior?
Yes. He said not to open the grave. I knew this was going to happen because they weren't supposed to do this until the day of the miracle.
This is fascinating. On the day of the miracle, the sick will be cured. Joe Lomangino will recover his sight. The boy from your village will be cured of his paralysis. There will be a permanent sign that everyone will be able to see, photograph, and televise, but that no one will be able to feel with their hands. Father Andreu will be taken out of his grave incorrupt. Then all we have left is to know the date.
Yes.
When is that date?
8 days before it, I will tell you.
Is it getting near?
Yes, we have less time to wait than we had 2 years ago.
Thank you very much, Conchita. There's something else that interests me, and that is the warning that will occur before the miracle. Here is an unusual picture. Sometimes when you mention the warning, you would say that it was like a starburst.
That was an example.
What will occur on the day of the warning?
The most important thing about the warning is that every person, everyone in the whole world will see a sign, a grace, or a punishment within themselves, in other words, a warning. They will find themselves all alone in the world, no matter where they are at the time, alone with their conscience right before God. They will then see all their sins and what their sins have caused.
En ese momento verán todos sus pecados y todo lo que han hecho con sus pecados.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. One of these days I'm going to feel the warning. No matter where I am, I'm going to feel it.
Any place you are.
If I am in the house or in the street, or if I am in Russia or in Puerto Rico or Santo Domingo or Spain or Cuba, no matter where I am, I will feel this warning.
You will feel it.
Who will feel this warning? Catholics, Protestants, communists, Jews?
Everyone that lives in the world.
Will we all feel it at the same time?
Yes, at the same time.
So everyone will feel it at the same hour? How long will it last?
I don't know how long it will last. However, everyone is going to feel it differently.
Will it last a half hour? Will it last an hour?
I really don't know. I think that 5 minutes would be an adequate time.
How will we feel it?
We will all feel it differently because it will depend on our conscience. The warning will be very personal. Therefore, we will all react differently to it.
Lo peor es ver nuestros pecados y lo que más hemos hecho con ellos. O sea, lo malo que hemos hecho con ellos, con los pecados. Y entonces, pues, sus pecados sean diferentes de los míos, te lo verá diferente, yo diferente.
Esto es impresionante, a mí me impresiona. O sea, que un día de estos yo voy a
This is
estar solo en el
amazing.
mundo, como
One day I will be
solo
alone in
sin
the
nada a
world
mi
with
alrededor,
nothing
yo
around
solo
me
con
except
Dios y mis
God and my
pecados.
sins.
Yes.
Will something happen to me because of my sins? I mean, will physical harm come upon me as a result of my sins?
No, unless it's something that results from the shock, for example, a heart attack.
Nothing like fire or pain?
No.
No physical harm then, so it'll consist of facing God alone with my sins. How about the good things? Will I see them also?
No. This will be only a warning to see what you have done with your sins. It will be like a purification before the miracle to see if with this warning and the miracle we will be converted.
This will happen before the miracle.
Yes, before the miracle.
So this can occur any day now.
Yes, but I don't know the date when it will occur.
But it will occur before the miracle. Here we have Pope Paul VI with Father Andreu. We also have many other photos from Garabandal. Who is this with this priest?
That's Jacinta.
This is Jacinta with the priest. He was the pastor of the town, isn't that right? I would like to ask you something about the investigation made by the priests and the bishops. I understand there were several commissions investigating the apparitions in Garabandal.
Yes, there were several commissions, and we had all kinds of tests, including psychiatric tests done on us. I was even taken to the city of Santander to see if I was hypnotized or was insane. They took all kinds of tests.
Do you remember something about those tests or about the interrogations with the priests and bishops? Do you remember something that they said to you or did to you?
Something that they said to me or something that they did to me?
What they did.
During the apparitions, they used to pinch us, put matches close to our eyes to see if we would blink. Also, they would wave paper before our eyes and hold matches against our legs to see if we would jump. But we never felt anything. When the apparition was over, we would see marks of fingernails on our bodies from the pinching, but they never really mistreated us.
I remember you had very long braids. What happened to them?
When I went to the city of Santander, the commission told me that the braids caused the other children to be hypnotized, so they cut them off.
I understand that there have been several bishops in Santander since the apparitions. How many were there?
About 5.
Did you ever talk to the bishops?
Yes, I did.
What did they say?
They did not believe in the apparitions.
Do you remember any conversations with them?
I remember the first bishop told me to stay in Santander and never to return to my town. He said he would pay for my schooling and that he didn't want to hear anything more about the apparitions. He felt that if I stayed in Santander, nobody would see the Virgin, but I didn't stay.
Did anybody ever mistreat you?
No, no one.
Entonces, creo que tenemos creo que eres tú, esta es Conchita, cuando era
Here is a
niña, 12
picture of
años,
you,
o 7
Conchita, when you were just a
Aquí te están
child,
pinchando.
12
Tú
years
dices que
old.
cuando
They're
pinchaban
pinching
aquí,
you.
en estas
So when they
pruebas que te
pinched you in
hacían,
these tests
nunca
that you went
te
through,
dabas
you never
cuenta en
felt
el
anything
solo-
until
solo más
later?
atrás te dabas
No,
te dabas
never.
cuenta. Y en
Did
todo
you
este
ever have
tiempo,
any
tú,
doubts
o
about the
durante o después de las
apparitions?
apariciones,
Yes,
¿tuviste alguna
in
aventura sobre las
1967,
apariciones?
sometime after the apparitions had taken place, I did have doubts.
What happened then?
All of a sudden, on August 15th, something happened that I will never forget. There were a lot of people around me, and I was overwhelmed with the feeling that I was not honest. I felt I was deceiving all those people and that I ought to confess it. So I went to a priest and told him I hadn't seen the Virgin and that I wanted to tell the bishops. It was like an illusion or a dream or like living a lie. After confessing to the priest, I left for the town of Pamplona because I was studying there. The bishop came and asked me to tell him everything. I told him I had never seen the Virgin and that I had been deceiving everybody all the time, and that I wanted to confess to him and tell him everything so that he could tell it to everybody else. These doubts and denials of the Virgin's apparitions lasted for 5 or 6 days. Since then, up to this time, I have a confusion and doubt within me. I am waiting for the miracle to confirm whether this is true or not.
Esperando el milagro para saber si es verdad o no es verdad.
Es impresionante todo eso, ¿eh? Y
So you are waiting for the miracle?
Yes, to see if I have seen the Virgin or not. But I am sure she told me the date of the miracle as well as what the miracle would be.
Do I understand you right that besides the miracle and the warning, there will also be a punishment?
The Virgin said that if we didn't convert with the warning and the miracle, then there will be a punishment. This, however, is not absolute.
So the punishment will occur or not occur depending on our conversion, if we become good.
Yes.
Both the warning and the miracle are just aids to help us fulfill the message. The message is the main thing in the apparition. Now, you have told us the message he gave you on October 18, 1961. However, there is a more complete message given on a later date. This message was given on June 18, 1965.
That's right.
Do you remember that message? Could you tell us about it?
Yes, certainly. The angel said that because the message of October 18, 1961 had not been fulfilled, that the world didn't know about it. I tell you, this is the last one. I said before, the cup was filling up, now it is overflowing. Many priests, bishops, and cardinals are on the road to hell and are taking many souls with them. Each day we give the Eucharist less and less importance. We should use all our efforts to avoid God's wrath. If you sincerely ask for pardon, He will forgive you. I, your mother, through the mediation of Saint Michael, the Archangel, ask you to correct your ways. You are in the last warnings. You should sacrifice more. Think of the passion of Jesus.
This is the message that you wrote by hand when you were a girl. How old were you then?
That was in 1965. I was about 15 years old.
15 years old. In this last message, the Virgin insists once more on the importance of the Eucharist. The apparitions of Garabandal focused great attention on the Eucharist.
Yes, she used to insist that we should visit the Blessed Sacrament frequently.
She said that each day we give less and less importance to the Eucharist.
Yes, you are right.
This was said in 1965.
Yes, in 1965.
She also talks about the priests and the bishops going on the road to perdition.
I think that each day she would mention the priest and that we should pray for them. We never understood why. For us, priests were like saints because we never had many priests coming to our village. It was considered a great privilege whenever one came.
She also talked to you about the bishops.
Yes, she talked about priests, bishops, and cardinals.
What did you think about the bishops and cardinals being on the road to hell?
We thought it was very strange, but we would repeat it as she said it.
The message then was the important thing. It was the reason why the Virgin came to Garabandal. After all these apparitions, you must be trying to live the message wherever you are. What have you done, or what have you tried to do to try to live the message?
What would give God great happiness is a very difficult thing for me. That is, to live each moment of the day doing everything for God. Each day living your life thinking of God, offering up everything He commands.
To live each day thinking of God and offering everything that He sends us. Conchita, do you think that you and I are living the message?
I think I am, but you have to answer for yourself.
You are working as a nurse. Do you fulfill the message there?
I try to.
How do you try?
Doing my work to the best of my abilities. I treat the patients the way I should.
How about a housewife with 3 or 4 children who is busy all day? Do you think she can fulfill the message?
Surely, according to the perfection in which she can accomplish her duties, offering God all her actions.
Offering God all the little things she does in the day? So it is not what you do,
How you
but
do
how
it, that
you
is
do
true.
it? A person working in an office can also fulfill the message?
You can fulfill the message anywhere. You can always be good and praise God.
One of the things that you have done in New York is to give out scapulars. Why do you do that? Do you like giving out scapulars in the office and on the streets? Why?
Look, Doctor, ever since I was a little girl, I've used a scapular. It's a devotion my mother taught me. More than that, though, I use it because whenever the Virgin came, she carried the scapular.
Ella amasó mi corazón, ella me vistió